Hey, how's it going, everybody? No fancy edits, man. You know who it is, the good doc. If you guys noticed, I just recently put out the video about explaining to Filipinas how to keep their foreign men. And only recently did it dawn on me after the recording and the editing of the video about a solid point that I want to make to you guys here. All right, no edits, nothing fancy, just the good doc politicking with you guys real quick. Could you imagine if that same exact video was addressed to women in the West? Like, think about that for a second. If we would have said, women in the West, if you want to know how to keep your man, these are the things that you need to do. Can you imagine the backlash that could probably come as a result of that video? Now, I want to say this out loud. I am recording this video before the actual release of my how Filipinos can keep a foreign man video is released. All right, so I'm not reading comments. There's nothing that I'm reading right now. This is just a good doc politicking with you over a few things that are running through my mind in the moment, and I just feel like if I have to get it off my chest, I gotta record. But I can only imagine what people would say in the comic sections, and oh man, y'all need to be more worried about keeping us. We don't need to be worried about keeping y'all. And it's just something that really, it doesn't bother me because it would be something that I would expect, but it does seem to be laughable that we are able to create videos like this about Filipino women, maybe Asian women or women abroad, but we can't do that for our own women because it's always going to be perceived in a negative light. It's always going to be taken negative. Like, why do we need to keep you? We don't need you. We could do for ourselves. You know the talking points, guys. I need not go into detail about the talking points, but it just blows my mind that I'm able to create videos like that and have a fair, honest conversation with my audience. And maybe somebody will pick up what I'm putting down, maybe they will not. But at the very least, I know that I'm able to have that conversation and feel confident and comfortable to be able to do it without the idea in the back of my mind, well, what are these women going to think about me putting out videos? Granted, I don't really care too much, but it's just the fact that it's like I'm not necessarily in the market of believing that there's going to be this big pushback about the content being put out. Especially, and this is where the caveat is, especially since the video is created based of a response video of a young lady who actually put that energy out there in the first place. Shout out to Filipina Life with Mia. It's okay. I mean, it's okay to respond to stuff like that. It's okay to have that open dialogue. And honestly, I believe Filipinas who are real are going to be in the background taking them notes. Like, okay, did he say that? Okay. If it works for him, I don't see why it wouldn't work for other foreigners. And likely, without me even seeing the comment section yet, there are likely going to be some foreigners that are going to co-sign for it. So if we're all in unison and we're all in agreement as foreign travelers, foreign brothers who are traveling to, the Philippines and parts of Asia and other, countries, if we're all consistent with what we're saying, then it's kind of like, well, damn, it's hard to argue against a point that it seems the majority of the people likely are agreeing with it on. And I think Filipinas and, women like that are able to take this advice and actually utilize it. As opposed to hearing the advice, shitting on it, and finding it a way to flip it so that it can be to their benefit. Or, oh, we ain't worried about y'all. Y'all need to be worried about keeping us. Right? We don't have to have that talk. And, I think that if you want to know why brothers are, making the move out and all of the above, I mean, you've kind of got your answer. It need not be said because everybody else is saying it. Like, I could be in the cut and have my own personal opinions and content and, be safe in my own space and place and not have to worry about anything because these types of conversations, these types of dialogues are happening in other communities as well. But the result of, the responses in reference to like the Philippines, stuff like that, in reference to the responses that you're getting in the West with the exact same talking points, similar talking points with maybe a few critiques and adjustments here and there, it's kind of like the accepting of the fact that this is what it needs to be is more prevalent in the Philippines and Asia and places like that, as opposed to being in the West. There's zero acceptance because it's almost like it's a zero tolerance policy. If a man says this is what you need to keep us, or this is what you would need to do in order to keep us, they're gonna look at us like we're crazy. And you know what? I'll just sit there and just let it happen. You gotta sit there and let it happen and do it with a smile on your face, because the negative energy is always going to come and the shaming tactics are always going to be there. Oh, you just moved out because you can't get a woman in the West. Oh, you just moved out because you're gay or something. They're going to come with the shaming tactics, And it's okay when you expect it. You just mad because you can't handle a strong woman. And you know the comments, man. So, I think it's crazy that we're able to create videos like this for our particular sector and community, and have it to where the response is at least one wherein the dialogue should be open. It's an open dialogue. It's not as if it's a closed off conversation. Man, we ain't worried about you. Y'all need to be worried about us. Case closed. Like, there's no debating about it. There's no discussion. It's just, you don't lost your mind for putting out a video like this. That's kind of what I feel the response would be when dealing with women in the West, as opposed to, dealing with women in the East, and more specifically Southeast Asia. So, like I said, I apologize for catching this late, but it's definitely one of the craziest things that, comes to mind when you talk about, what it would take to actually keep you as the man. Because again, I believe that everybody should look at themselves as the prize. I don't want to say that foreigners are the prize, Filipinos are the prize. I don't want to get into that talking point, because everybody's going to have their own valid opinions in reference to that. But when you're able to say, look, if you want a foreigner and you want to keep this guy, this is literally what you're going to need to do, or these are the things that I think would work in your best interest if you want to keep that man locked in. And it's okay for you to say it. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, in other parts of the world, those types of topics seem to be taboo, Seems to be like, how dare you say this, or what do you think of us like that? And, we're not just your, play toys, or we're not just your slaves, or we're not just supposed to be submissive to you. It's supposed to be a partnership, and, all of this shit. And again, you may have those same talking points here, but again, in a partnership, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be some give. And I believe that, you're going to have to, make sure you do what you can to fit in well and gel well with each other, But I just had to get that off my chest, man. And I hope you guys pick up what I'm putting down. No edits, just a good Doc having a conversation, all right? So I'm going to let y'all go on about your business, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.